What's going on, guys? So you probably watched the video that we did with this new setup my dad has. 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit Edition with the 5.7 liter Hemi paired to his Flagstaff E-Pro. If you didn't watch that video, you should go check it out and also understand why he bought the E-Pro to pair with his Class B Sprinter van to tow as kind of a master bedroom suite behind his Class B. It's actually kind of cool why he did it, and it's worked out real well for him. But now that he has a Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit Edition with a tow package that can tow up to like 6,200 pounds or something like that, he has the ability to use this as a traditional, SUV pulling a travel trailer, take it out to an RV park, leave the travel trailer at the RV park, and then have a great runaround vehicle to go explore the wilderness and do whatever he wants to do. Especially considering it's got four-wheel drive, air suspension, completely loaded. Okay, so what we're going to do in this video is going to be pretty cool. So because his Jeep does have a tow package but is lacking a trailer brake controller, we're going to be adding one, but not the one you might typically think, or not the ones you typically see. There's all sorts of brands out there that make really great trailer brake controllers, and most of the times with vehicles like this, you'll actually have a harness in place underneath the dash that is kind of plug and play. You can kind of readily connect everything, but it still requires running wires so you can connect to your trailer. But what we're going to show you today is going to eliminate the need for all of that through technology. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so one of the advertising perks of the GMC Multi-Pro tailgate is that you can use it as a workbench. Let's see how that works. So now we have a workbench. That's about 8 inches deep. Okay, so in front of you is a product from CURT. This is called the Echo Mobile Brake Controller. Now this is a wireless brake controller. What's so special about that? Well, the fact that it's wireless and the fact that you're not going to be running a bunch of wires connecting to your battery. You're having to route wires around your vehicle to the back to connect to your trailer. Plus, it looks a lot cleaner. So what you see in front of you here will simply plug into your 7-way back here. And on the other end, you simply plug your trailer connection right here. And it's going to give you the capability of connecting via Bluetooth to their mobile app, which will now allow you to use your phone as the controller for your brakes on your trailer. Now what's really cool about this is in the event you lose data connectivity, you still have Bluetooth connectivity with your last previous settings from your phone's smartphone app to the actual brake controller. So you don't have to worry about not having control of your trailer brakes just because your phone loses connectivity. Now if you shut your phone off, or if you have like a crazy software update that requires your phone to reboot, or if for some reason the app crashes, well of course you're probably going to lose connectivity to your brake controller and you'll have to reconnect to it, get your app up and running before you will be able to use this. But this should be a relatively easy install because you're not really installing much. You're just simply plugging this in, plugging your trailer into this, and then everything else is essentially using your smartphone to pair to the Echo and then configuring it for your specific trailer or your specific towing environment. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to see just how easy this Echo mobile brake controller is to install and configure. And real quickly, one thing I really like is that they give you this quick reference guide, which shows you both the apps you would download as well as how to get everything set up, and then how to activate profiles to control the brake controller, as well as what different lights mean on the brake controller itself. Very cool. Okay, so we're back here behind my father's Grand Cherokee, and it comes with this really cool strap, and they actually wind the strap up and they put it inside of this spot right here whenever you buy it, so it's kind of out of the way. So what you're going to do here is you're simply going to open up your 7-way cap. You're going to plug this in, get your strap out of the way. Okay, it is in. You can see the light right here is actually flashing, indicating it's in kind of a pairing mode. And then they give you this cool strap right here. And you don't need to make this that tight. You're just going to put it so it goes to the most, I guess, convenient hole right here. Just like that. Just like that. So again, it just holds a little flap right there. That is in place. Okay, so my father's installed the Echo Smart Control. We'll go ahead and open that up. Connect your phone to your brake controller to gain control. We're going to get started. Terms and conditions. Plug it in. We have plugged it in. Connect to it via Bluetooth. We're going to scan for it. Okay, it has found it. We do want to connect to it. And there's a pin. So the pin is on the flap at the top of the brake controller. Let me show you. So when you flip this flap open, right on the inside of this cap will be the pin that is your Bluetooth password. Okay, so we're just going to put the pin in here. Okay, so we are now connected, pairing successful. Let's continue. Okay, so we're looking at the instructions here, and it says controller profile. In this menu, you can access 5 most recently used settings. These settings are stored in the Echo device. This option allows you or others who borrow your Echo to access pre-configured tow settings quickly and easily. Your active profile will display at the top of the menu. So you can see your current profile, which is up there. We haven't set it up yet. And in this menu, you can create an unlimited number of trailer profiles. These profiles are stored within the app on your phone. And then the way we want to add a profile is on the controller, select current profile at the top. And we're going to name that profile. Going to click done to confirm. Okay, so I'm going to swipe this to the left. We're going to edit that. We're going to call this the ePro. Okay, done. So that's his current profile for this trailer. He can change the profile for various trailers he may tow with his Jeep. And once we get into that, this is where you can change your maximum output sensitivity. Okay, and the hazard light feature down here, you'd want this on if you are gonna need to use your hazard lights. So let's say you're on the side of the road or you're driving slowly through traffic and you have your hazard lights on. Basically what'll happen is if you don't have that feature on, when the hazard lights are active, the trailer brakes may pulse on and off as the lights flash. To prevent that from happening, you're going to want to toggle the switch on anytime you want your hazard lights to be on. Okay, so kind of stepping back here a little bit. So manual brake activation. Manual brake controller activation is used in situations where a slow reduction in speed is desired. As a manual control is activated, the Echo begins applying the trailer brakes. Manual output can be activated by pressing and holding the orange button. So basically what you'd do is you'd press this and you'd be applying manual brake controls. If you just barely press it, it just goes to a certain point and then stops. It's kind of like, again, when you're pressing the button or squeezing the button on your typical brake controller. And this is a proportional brake controller as well. So let's talk about how it may do that. So brake output indicator. The blue ring indicates the current brake output. The blue ring is a visual indicator of the current level of power being applied to the trailer brakes. When the vehicle brakes are fully applied, the level of power and position of the ring is determined by your maximum output setting. So maximum output, this is really where we want to determine exactly how strong the brakes are going to be whenever you use the brake controller. And that's going to be the output control. The output control establishes the maximum amount of power available to the trailer brakes when braking. The output should be adjusted during initial setup when the trailer is loaded, when different trailers are used, or when adjustment is needed for changing road conditions, driving conditions. Okay, and then you have a screen theme where you can change from light to dark, depending on if you're driving in the daytime or night. All right, so this seems pretty self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and get the trailer connected. Let's get inside of the vehicle and see how this thing works. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and plug everything in. The good thing is this is your hinge point right here, and this is where it's at, so you don't have to worry at all about any of your A-frame or anything making contact with this. Get it plugged into your 7-way right here. Okay, we are all plugged in. Don't think that's gonna come out at all. It's locked into place over here as well by the door, and the door is held up against it by this strap, so I don't think there's really any practical scenario where that's just going to fall out. So let's go ahead and get inside of the Jeep, drive around and see what happens. Okay, so we are inside of my father's 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the Hemi Summit Edition. All right, so you're currently pressing the brake?
Yep.
Okay, it shows that the brake's actually being pressed right now. So what if you press the brake really hard? Okay, it shows the same level. So what we want to do here is we want to control how much sensitivity there is going in, or the maximum output. Okay, so the best way to do that would be, I guess, for me to press the button to see specifically how much brake control it takes to slow the vehicle down. So let's go ahead and start rolling forward. Then
that's going full.
Yeah, that's full on. So we definitely want a little bit more output than that, because that didn't stop the vehicle. Let's try to stay at or under 5 miles an hour, maybe more like 3 miles an hour. Okay, I'm going to press it again now. Is your foot off the brake?
Yep.
Nope, we need to definitely increase our output a little bit there. A little bit more. Thankfully, I have a long driveway to test this. That's pretty good. All right, and then sensitivity is going to be how sensitive his brake pedal is when he presses it.
I can feel it.
You can feel it? If this is anything like a typical brake control system, you generally want your sensitivity set at around 7. Let's go ahead and set it at 6, though. Tell me when it feels comfortable for you. Does it feel like it's too much brake?
Not enough yet.
How'd that feel?
I like that.
Okay.
As
Let's
long
go
as I'm
ahead.
not locking up the tires.
Now let's go ahead and let's get up to maybe 30, and then I'm going to apply the brake controller as if we need to get the trailer back in line because you're experiencing some sway. So we're at 30 now. That feels pretty good.
Yep, working.
Yep. And then when you hit the brake, can you feel the trailer brakes engage?
You know, let me get back up to about 30.
Okay.
Yep. They come on slow though.
I can change the
You can tell
sensitivity.
it's proportional.
Now try it now. I changed the sensitivity up a little bit. How's that feel?
Feels about average. It doesn't feel like it's doing a whole lot, but I'm sure it is. It's proportional, so it's going to measure how much I'm putting in here somehow and apply the trailer brakes accordingly. That's why this goes up the harder I press.
Okay, I want to mount it up here on your dash so you can use it. Like if you have to use your brake controller right now to slow down, or because you need to get your trailer back in line. Seems to be effective, and it's not jerky either. It's fairly linear. It feels pretty smooth. So my theory is that, you know, naturally when you push the brakes, your trailer brakes or your vehicle brakes don't just like lock up on you. They're proportionate to how hard you push the brakes. So there must be a sensor inside of the CURT Echo that determines how hard you're applying the brakes, and then of course it proportionately adjusts here to give you the right type of response. Yeah, because it appears to be stopping pretty well. Very cool. So this trailer is at about 70% of the maximum towing capacity of the Jeep. Payload capacity, we're right on that edge, but part of it again is because of how well equipped this Jeep is in terms of air suspension, four-wheel drive, and all the other amenities. How does it feel so far?
Feels very confident. Doesn't feel sketchy at all.
Yeah, and that's good considering, you know, you got a good dialed in weight distribution hitch with sway control. You got your brake controller in place now, and you know, we're well within the capacities of the truck and the settings for the trailer and the hitch. Very cool. Anyways, we're gonna head back. We're gonna wrap this video up. Okay, so that's gonna wrap this video up. You know, this is really, really cool because it takes all of, I'm gonna be honest with you, it takes all of about 5 minutes to get everything set up, configured, plugged in, found on your phone. I mean, it really takes no time at all. And if you compare this to the typical installation time it takes of getting a traditional brake controller added to a vehicle, even a vehicle that's pre-wired for it, it can take a couple of hours. The lengthiest part of it is simply pairing your phone to the Bluetooth on the CURT Echo, and that's pretty awesome. Dad, what do you think? What did you think about this Because when you first asked about putting a trailer brake controller on here, we looked at the Red Arc, which is a really good one. We looked at some of the Reese products, some of the other products that are out there that are your traditional brake controllers. And I said, you know what? Wouldn't the CURT Echo be a cool one to use? And I know you were a little hesitant at first until you started reading up on it, but now that you have it, how do you feel overall?
I really like it. I've had several tow vehicles that I've installed brake controllers on. This one also had a factory connector up under the dash, but it has a bottom dash cover that would have had to been removed. I like the simplicity of this one. I don't really thoroughly understand how it measures brake input, but it does. I've read somewhere that there's multiple accelerometers inside the Echo itself, and it works. I have to say that I'm relatively surprised, but it works. You can't deny that when you drive it. The fact that it's on the cell phone, which is in front of me all the time anyway, up on the dash, I like the convenience of it, the simplicity of it, and the transferability. I can actually take and put it on the RV if I want to when I'm towing the trailer with the Class B.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. You know, we didn't really talk about that. He has the ability now to add trailer brakes to really any vehicle that has a 7-way harness on it that's already in place. So that is really cool. The only aspect of this that I think is going to be a little difficult for people to digest might be the lack of the trigger pull, the little traditional trigger pull whenever you're trying to engage the proportional brake system manually. And you know, pressing the button, you don't really get this great feeling of squeezing a brake and seeing your brakes gradually kick into place. With this one, you press the button down, and the longer you hold it down, the more it squeezes the brakes. And it's at a certain speed, so you don't manually, you know, squeeze it as fast as you want or let go of it. But I think it still works well enough that you'll get a good feeling for how to use it very quickly. And it didn't feel as if, for instance, if we were going to experience sway, that it would really delay the time it would take to squeeze that input to get the trailer back in line with the tow vehicle. It felt very intuitive. Again, aside from the app crashing, aside from your phone going through a mandatory software update, your battery dying, those things like that, as long as you keep all of that stuff in check and you're aware of, you know, other factors that could happen with your smartphone, this system might be a good fit for a lot of those who have a tow vehicle, have a 7-way connector already on their tow vehicle, tow a relatively small trailer with trailer brakes, and they need some capability of actually controlling those trailer brakes. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description of this video if this is something you may be interested in. Again, big shout out to my channel sponsor etrailer.com for providing this for review and evaluation. It was actually really exciting to see how this thing works. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.